Well, well, well. Looks like the shippers are finally getting the game they've always wanted. I can't even say that I'm kidding because the amount of Sonato Generations tweets I'm seeing is hilarious. But oh my god, Sonic and Shadow Generations is actually real, and it's set to be released in fall 2024. I first heard about the rumor a day before the trailer dropped, and I didn't think anything of it. I would just believe it when I see it. But then I saw the trailer posted by the Sonic social media account, and honestly, I didn't even believe it. I thought it was going to be like another meme or their attempt to make a joke out of the rumor, but lo and behold, it's actually real. When I heard the rumor initially, I felt indifferent about a Sonic Generations remaster. This isn't really Sega's fault, but I'd just been so annoyed and exhausted with the amount of Disney and even Nickelodeon reboots and reunion podcasts that I just want something original for a change. But after watching the trailer, I am absolutely for this game. It seems more than just your average remaster. And this is Sonic Team's chance to reclaim the narrative again, and I'm always for that. Especially considering how significant Shadow 05 was for Takashi Iizuka. He was heavily involved with that game, so to see Sonic Team giving it another shot makes me really happy. I know Shadow's portion of the trailer only showed for 30 seconds, but it does seem like it's going to be a unique experience, and I am looking forward to it. The graphics and models look amazing. Black Doom / Doom's Eye looks so cool. And the BioLizard looks so good. The stage environments look clean and crisp. That transition from the Space Colony arc to what I'm guessing is Westopolis looks so trippy. It's like Shadow is traveling through a gothic kaleidoscope. There's a portion of the trailer where he's attacking what I think are gun battle mechs, and there's this burnt orange orb that reminds me of Flamecore from Sonic 06. And the way the stage sort of glitches reminds me of the Phantom Ruby. If that even is the case. I don't know how that would work considering Generations came out before Forces, but that glitchy aesthetic just makes me think of it. It is confirmed that Shadow will get his own story that coincides with the events of Sonic Generations. Additionally, it appears that Ian Flynn wrote the story because he inserted a #KnowingSmile in his post. Notably, this is his first time writing for Shadow in a mainline Sonic game. So we'll see how things go. I know he's voiced his share of frustrations about the allegedly strict, unfair, unforgiving, unpleasant, uncompromising, cruel, sadistic, purely diabolical, anti-Archie, anti-romance, probably for the best, anti-fun, Sega mandates. Allegedly. Since Sonic Team is quite protective of Shadow, to those who are not aware, the Sega mandates are this unofficial list of rules and guidelines Sega has in place for the IDW comics and Sonic character portrayals in general. Quite a few of these have been confirmed by either Ian Flynn, Evan Stanley, or other Sonic IDW staff members, and that's all I really know. I don't know who in Sega calls the shots or reviews and approves the comics. Vocal fans have complained about this being the reason certain characters like Shadow are poorly portrayed in the comics, but I do think the list of mandates are blown out of proportion because a lot of them are pretty understandable. For example, not being able to create a new relative for an in-game Sonic character. Not everybody reads the comics, and Sega is trying to consolidate the canon in some way. Or in-game characters are prohibited from entering a romantic relationship because there are a lot of passionate shippers with different opinions. Sonic is required to win in every adventure. He always wins in the games, so that makes sense. It is worth noting some moments in the games and comics have contradicted a few mandates, or a couple of them have been flat out debunked, so I take quite a few of these with a grain of salt. Of course, I believe the IDW staff. It's definitely not uncommon for franchises to be protective of their IPs, and it is good to be protective. As someone who is also a Mario fan, strict enforcement of storytelling and character portrayal is nothing new to me. But if Ian's able to drop references of the IDW characters and sticks in Sonic Frontiers, and be a lot more forward with the Sonami moments, then I figure he has a lot more creative freedom this time around. My expectations aren't high. I really would just like there to be more substance, you know? As much as I enjoy the game, I feel like Generations was a missed opportunity to have a really interesting story, especially with the lore you could come up with for a being called the Time Eater. I do wonder if there will be cutscenes between the Sonics and Shadow. I'm very curious to know how this will affect Sonic Generations' story. Maybe we'll learn why Shadow wasn't at Sonic's birthday party at the beginning of the game. I just assumed that he wasn't invited and then he got all upset. I have a lot of questions. Are we going to see Maria and Professor Gerald? It would make sense that we would. I hope we do, just to see brand new models of them. Their last major game appearance was in Shadow the Hedgehog 2005, so they are very overdue for an updated model. Will we see the Gun Commander? What about Sabrina? Do any of you remember Sabrina? She's this character in Sonic 06, and Shadow has to help her in a few side quests, and she's such a brat. She's all, "I'm better than you." It's cute. More importantly, will we get an updated Sonic and Shadow picture on the president's desk? It better happen. But all joking aside, I'm just looking forward to running around on the Space Colony arc. I'm also really looking forward to the soundtrack, especially if we get a fair share of Shadow the Hedgehog stages. I love Shadow the Hedgehog soundtrack. It makes for great focus music. Lethal Highway, The Doom, Central City, Circus Park. If they gave us a Circus Park remix, I would be over the moon. Oh, and Black Doom's boss theme, absolutely sublime. My favorite boss theme in the game. It sounds surprisingly graceful and really emphasizes how Black Doom is not of this world. It's so beautiful. You should listen to it. Speaking of Black Doom, if you don't mind me getting a little speculative and delusional, with him appearing, I think that definitely opens the door for other Sonic villains to make their return. Notably Infinite. I literally just uploaded a video about him. Maybe Mephiles. Maybe. I think Black Doom coming back shows that Sonic Team can find a way to write most characters back in their stories. They just need to figure out how and have the yearning to do it. I also think Black Doom's return is very significant because for a long time, Black Doom was heavily disliked and considered a cringy Sonic villain by critics and Sonic YouTube reviewers back in the early 2010s. Shadow 05 is also where we begin to hear about how Shadow is this edgy edgelord, but from my observation, as young millennials and Gen Zers who grew up with Shadow the Hedgehog began to voice their own opinions and make their own content, the public opinion started to shift. Despite what the reviews said back in 2005, younger people are far more accepting of Shadow the Hedgehog, and more people are starting to realize that Shadow wasn't really edgy, he was just guarded and confused, and also experiencing trauma at times. Not to say that this game was a stellar masterpiece, but as I mentioned before, this is Sonic Team's opportunity to reclaim the narrative and prove to the world how substantive their stories are. 2024 is shaping up to be another exciting year for Sonic, and I am pumped for Sonic and Shadow Generations, and I'm looking forward to what other projects Sonic Team has in store. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about Sonic and Shadow Generations and what you're looking forward to the most. Do you have any unhinged theories you'd like to share with the class? Let this be your forum to do so. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye!